What's up, people? We are back for another one. We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James with my co-host Kaelyn. Kaelyn, how you doing?
Pretty good. Good weekend. Good fights last night too. UFC.
That's true. There was UFC pay-per-view, and your favorite, Aljamain Sterling, retained his belt, beating Henry Cejudo in what some people call a controversial split decision. I only caught the highlights, but I know it was a back and forth fight for quite a bit of the fight. Tell me your thoughts on the fight.
Yeah. It was a very competitive fight, that's for sure. It wasn't boring. Henry Cejudo went up in weight, and Sterling is really tall. Looking at them standing next to each other, he has long legs, long arms. In the beginning, he was kind of chopping at Cejudo's legs quite a bit, and it looked terrible. Like I feel like that would have gotten him that first round if the judges saw it that way, which they did, half of them. So that was a little sketchy start because it almost looked like Cejudo. I don't know. You can't judge a fight by like the first 10, 15 seconds or a minute, but he didn't look very impressive taking all those kicks in the beginning. But anyway, they got to wrestling, of course. And Cejudo did a really good job at his wrestling, of course. His takedowns looked easy. And Aljo, in my eyes, I think Aljo defended the entire time. He did have some strikes that he got. He landed some hits because he's very long. It almost looked like Cejudo couldn't reach him with his punches. By the time he got in there, he was getting caught with Sterling's punches, which sucks. So he went back to his wrestling, and I guess thinking about it now, I guess the edge, I could see them giving it to Sterling, but I don't know. I was just really impressed with Cejudo, so I felt like maybe he got it, but maybe thinking about it, I don't know. Dana White said he thought that Aljamain got it. I thought he was going to say the opposite. I don't know. It was a very close fight, which sucks because like I always want to see like a clear, because you almost don't get any answers when it's that close. Especially with Sterling, all of his fights are like that, I feel like, except for maybe one or two. So I don't know. It was a good fight. I wanted Cejudo to win, so maybe that's why I thought at the time that he should have gotten it. But
I think I agree with that also. That
going round by round, thinking about how it started, how it ended. Yeah, I guess it was very close. So whatever. I don't know. Like I said, with Sterling, it's always a close fight. Always. Or it's boring, unfortunately. But whatever. I don't know. I guess he's going to fight Sean O'Malley next, which was crazy because it was like a WWE moment where he just steps in there. He's all dressed up and everything, got his chains on. He walks into the octagon and starts.
He looked like he had the Michael Jackson Thriller jacket on.
He did. People mentioned that. I'm
like, actually, I don't know if it was Thriller or if it was just a Michael Jackson jacket, but I was like,
I think it was the Thriller jacket. It looked good. It kind of looked good, but whatever. But he got in there, talked some shit. I guess he's getting the next fight, which is good. I don't know how that fight would go. I don't think O'Malley would survive in there with Sterling.
I don't think so either. I think this is tailor-made for Sterling because he's a grappler, and O'Malley, we haven't really seen a whole lot of his grappling.
Right.
We just know that it could go there, but he usually strikes.
Yeah, but also thinking about it, I didn't think he was going to beat Jan, and he did. So I don't know.
That's true. That is very true. But it was mostly striking. His striking is grade A, but yet
I don't think O'Malley's going to get out there. He's going to be thrown around like a rag doll, I think. I feel unless he gets better, unless he's been working for it, and he's not dumb. I think he knows what he needs to work on. Maybe he's been working on it. I don't know.
I think also what may have surprised people too was Sterling's takedowns, because you're going against an Olympic wrestler, and yet you were able to take him down. Hey, good on you! Like, that's awesome.
Also, I feel like that's where the size came in because he's so long, and he had so much leverage. And I know maybe that's not an excuse because a wrestler will always say that they should be able to do it anyway, but the size, there's a big size difference. There's a big size difference. Maybe not weight, but like he's super long and Cejudo's shorter. He's a shorter guy. So I think that the extra leverage helped Sterling. Plus, he's good at wrestling anyway, also. So I don't know. It was a good fight. It was a good fight.
Did this fight help you change your
No.
mind about Aljamain still?
That's why I hated it. I'm like, God damn it, again? Like, give me. And I can't discredit him because he's.
You
been
want
the
him
champ
to
a
win
while now.
decisively
I want to see it.
to really.
Yeah. I want a clear cut, not controversial win from him. Like, this one was controversial, I guess, but not really controversial. It's just very, very close. The whole thing where he got the belt with a disqualification, which pissed me off from the beginning, and then the way he reclaimed it again by just hanging on to Jan's back. Like, yeah, I get it. You win that way. I get it, but it's not interesting and it's not fun.
Well, since he's won the title, all he does is go to decisions, and I think we would both like him to win decisively.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
I think that's what would give him credibility towards being a champion compared to having all these close fights, except for when he dominated Jan by just taking his back.
I feel like you got to give him credit by this point. So, okay, but I'm like not happy about it. Whatever, dude. We'll see.
All right. Well, he's got Sean O'Malley next, and
I think he's gonna win. If he can show that he could ragdoll him around, I would feel better about him being the champion for that fight.
Just for that fight, not for any other fight.
I mean, at least don't have a controversial win for this one. This one should be it. You should either get a knockout or, maybe even a sub, or decisively throw him around so people are like, yeah, he definitely won that fight, Because O'Malley's there. You can't argue that he's the next contender for that, I guess,
Yeah, like that's pretty much assumed. It was set up last night when he came in the cage that, hey, this is who you're taking on next.
And they gave him the mic. They gave him the mic at the press conference, so they knew what was going on. I was watching the post-fight press conference, and there's Sean O'Malley as if he just fought or something, sitting there taking questions. I'm like, wow, they just let him in
I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Then there was also Bilal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns.
Yeah. That one was, God, I will say, I got a little bored in this fight, although it's not like they weren't doing anything. They were striking the whole time, but nothing, no knockouts, no, like, oh my God, he's hurt. Nothing like that. Just constant trades. So, I got a little bored during that fight, and I didn't realize it was 5 rounds. I didn't know they did that. I thought that was only for main events.
I thought it was too. Wow.
It's weird. I don't know why they did that. I think it made it extra boring. But Bilal got the win.
That fight should have been a 3-rounder.
I feel like, yeah, I think it should have. I don't know why they did that. I'm still confused. Unless anyone knows, let me know. I don't know how they decide what's a 5-round and what's not anymore. I don't know. Unless
maybe it was the co-main.
And it wasn't. No, yeah, but they don't do that. I was thinking, well, maybe it's not even for an interval. It's just the next contender.
No,
so,
it was just a fight.
Yeah. But anyway, Bilal won. And you could tell that he won. It just wasn't very exciting, I will say that. But yeah, whatever. I don't know what's next for Gilbert. But he turned around like in a few weeks for this fight. He already fought like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So maybe rest.
That was crazy.
Hopefully.
And I don't think he didn't look bad though. I just don't know if he was. Maybe it's just Bilal that was that good. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Bilal's he's been steadily making his way. So
yeah.
Especially for Burns to do a quick turnaround like that. I don't know if that was the wisest decision, but
I think he was filling in for. Didn't one of them drop out and he was like a fill-in? I think.
I believe so. I just don't.
I think he took a short notice. I don't think he had that planned, and I don't remember who was supposed to fight Bilal. But.
And then moving
or it was
on
the other way around.
Card. We had a quick.
So that was cool.
Victory.
That was fun. Jan Xiaonan knocked out Jessica Andrade, which was. Whenever you see Jessica Andrade get knocked out, you know it's good because she's tough. She's usually the one. And you know what? I think that Jan threw the punch that Andrade normally throws to knock people out and got knocked out by that punch. It was like an overhand. I think she got touched first and then came back with that right around and got that overhand hook / straight, kind of like a quarter punch, whatever you want to call it, and knocked her out. That was awesome. So I don't know what's next for her, but she looks very, very strong. She reminds me of Zhang Weili, very, very strong. So we'll see what happens next. I'm glad that fight happened on that card. That was good.
I was looking to see if they're ranked, and it doesn't show that they're ranked.
I don't think so, and I think it's because this is a bantamweight, I believe. I think Andrade was a 125er, I believe, or 115. I don't remember where she started. Oh, this was a flyweight? Okay, well, this was
no. It says she usually fights at flyweight.
Okay,
let's double check the bout.
Was this a
strawweight?
This was not strawweight, was it?
It says strawweight bout.
Okay, but they looked massive. I don't see how that was. I don't know. You could be right.
It's the HD cameras.
Yeah, I don't know, but Jan she looks big. She's very, very toned and cut. Like she has no body fat. Maybe that's how. But she's really big.
She got the knockout victory. And then a fight of the night. Mosar Ilalev versus Diego Lopes. 3-round unanimous decision. What'd you think about this fight?
Sorry, 1 second.
It's all good.
I can't. I'm busy.
This was one of the fights that was taking place at UFC 288, and it got, I believe it was a fight of the night nod.
Yeah.
And then Mosart got 4 takedowns, while Lopes went for 4 submissions and got 1 reversal. Damn.
I was not paying attention during that one.
Hey. I mean, it seems like it. Mosart did more, but I feel like Lopes tried to counter that while on the ground, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, that one, I didn't really pay attention to that one, but the one before that was interesting.
You're referring to the Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain?
Yeah.
Jourdain?
Kron Gracie looked terrible.
You know what? You're not the only one that said that. I've seen quite a few people that were commenting about that bout, that Kron Gracie has the name and he's a high-level competitor, but not a UFC competitor.
I guess not. I don't know. I was surprised. Kron Gracie hasn't fought in a long time, and he didn't look very good at all last night.
That's true. And that's why he got the L. And then we had Drew Dauber versus Matt Frivola, and Frivola got the win in the first.
Sorry, go back up. Yeah, Drew Dauber didn't do very good either.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially got knocked out in 408 in the first.
Yeah, but also the ref stopped it a little early, I thought, because he got a knockdown, he fell down, and he was still defending. And I think the ref just saw him get knocked down and wanted to stop it right away. He could have let it go because he protested right after. But I think it was an early call, although it was a pretty bad hit, though.
Were there any other fights on the card that you enjoyed?
No.
No?
No, I didn't catch the early prelims or most of the prelims.
Well, the early prelims look like there are some exciting things going on. You had Parker Porter getting the win over Braxton Smith in the first at 210. Phil Haas losing to Ikram. I'm not even going to pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. At 210 in the first. And then Joseph Holmes loses to Claudio Ribeiro at 321 in the second. So those were some exciting fights. It was just the prelims were kind of meh.
I'll have to go back and watch those ones then.
And then, of course, it's UFC. So next week do we have it? The 13th. Yes, next week is a fight night card. Let me go ahead and pop that up for us. We have Rosenstruck versus Almeida. Number 9 versus number 12 in the heavyweight division. Rosenstruck, we've talked about him quite a bit. He comes to fight. Both fighters coming off wins. Almeida is 18-2, while Rosenstruck is 13-4. I don't either, but he's ranked number 12. So he is ranked. He does have the reach advantage in both leg and arm reach. And from what we can see here, he's much leaner than Rosenstruck, but we know Rosenstruck will come out and bang. And I feel like because Almeida's from Brazil, he's going to like to go to the ground and grapple.
I guess, but Jairzinho hasn't really been doing very well in the last two fights that I've seen. I think they hyped him up and threw him in there, and I don't know. I don't think it was too soon. He just wasn't at the level of.
He just wasn't there where he needed to be.
I think they propped him up, not fast, but they propped him up, and maybe he wasn't ready. I don't know, but it's a heavyweight, so you never know what's going to happen. Regardless, you get hit once, and who knows?
That's true.
Whoa, Anthony Smith is coming back.
Yep, he's on a light heavyweight bout. Who do you take in the main event?
I don't know anything about Almeida. I feel like he has a really good chance, though. I'll take Jairzinho just because I think he can have that puncher's chance as a heavyweight. Not that Jailton doesn't, but I don't know enough about him.
I'll actually take Almeida. I'll give him the opportunity for the W. Because I think he'll surprise a lot of people and get the win. And then you mentioned it earlier, Anthony Smith ranked 5th versus Johnny Walker, ranked number 7.
I have zero faith in Anthony Smith at this point. I don't know about him anymore.
So you feel like he's on the backside of his career, that he is done
for a while.
That's true. He has been doing more. He is coming off a loss, but he has been doing more commentary type roles. And
I haven't even seen him do that lately, except he has this podcast with Bisping. That's the most I see him. But Johnny Walker got a knockout in his last fight, I think.
So you're taking Johnny Walker?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Anthony Smith anymore. They hyped him up, and then John Jones beat the shit out of him, and so did Teixeira. Literally, his teeth came out. So. And he never came back.
He hasn't been right since. Yeah. All right. I will also take Walker. And then we have in the welterweight division, ranked 15th, Daniel Rodriguez versus Ian Machado. I'm just going to read it as Gary with 2 R's.
Oh, yeah. Nevada.
And we got 17-3. Rodriguez is coming off of a loss. If I'm right, Gary is 11-0, but debuting. Gary has the slight arm reach advantage and a 1-inch leg reach advantage in this bout. Do you think Rodriguez?
But I always go for Daniel Rodriguez.
Debuting. So you taking Rodriguez? I'll go with the debuter. Why not? Then we have Mackenzie Dern and Angela Hill, 7 versus 14 in a strawweight bout. Now, okay, we've had this discussion where Hill has this really lopsided record, but she's a quality fighter. Do you think Mackenzie Dern just gets the W over her, or do you feel like this is going to be Angela Hill's chance?
Mackenzie Dern's striking sucks. It's weird and it doesn't work. Angela Hill can strike, but I don't know about her on the ground. I know Mackenzie Dern will submit her on the ground for sure if they go that way, which it probably will. I want Hill to win, but they're giving her to Mackenzie Dern. She's gonna lose. And she's gonna have another loss on her
But
record. I think she's like half and half with her huge record.
yeah,
15 and 12. That's
and
terrible.
she's coming off of a win, and then Dern is coming off of a loss, and she's 12-3.
12-3 though. Yeah. I don't know. Mackenzie Dern's gonna get that one. I'd be surprised.
I think you're right. Unless Angela Hill comes out and surprises us, just floors
They're
her.
gonna make Angela Hill's record 15
right.
and 15 one day.
Unless they cut her by then.
I don't think they'll cut her. She's busy. She
That's
takes all
true.
the fights.
That's true.
I don't know.
And then lastly, on the main fight night card, we have Tim Means versus Alex Morono in a welterweight bout. Both fighters coming off losses. Morono is 22-8. Means is 32-14-1. Quite the records for both fighters.
Tim Means has been around for a very long time.
That's true.
I'm gonna pick him just because.
I'm going to agree with that because I think Tim means business. Hey-oh. Yeah.
Alex Morono's not bad either, but I don't know. I would say Tim Means.
Yeah, I'm purely basing that off of experience.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Brown versus Court McGee in the prelims. Headlining
Why is that on the prelims?
Why is because they want people to watch
fights? I saw Chase Sherman down there too.
Well, we'll get there.
Anyway.
Damn, this is an interesting bout because
they're both like wild cards at this point.
I want to pick Matt Brown just because Matt Brown's a stud still. Yeah, Court McGee's no slouch.
I know.
I'll take Brown.
Man, I don't know. I'll take Court McGee. I don't know.
All right, that's about for more experienced UFC fans, older UFC fans, I should say.
Matt Brown's been around since before I started watching.
For a long time. And Court McGee's been around probably
Court McGee was there
too.
Court McGee was on The Ultimate Fighter, I think, when I first started watching it. And that's how I even know his name. But Carl Williams and Chase Sherman. I haven't seen a lot of Carl Williams. I have seen him fight before, though. But Chase Sherman's been around for a while, too.
Sherman does have the experience, is coming off of a loss. I'm curious as to know more about Carl Williams because he's 8-1. But yeah, you have Chase Sherman, who's 16-11. I'm curious as to the quality of the fighters that Carl Williams has competed against in order to really make my pick.
I pick Carl Williams.
Or who I think would win. You pick
Probably
Carl Williams?
Yeah.
Well, let's see if I can find him. Oh, here we go. Going to Tapology to check it out. 8-1. Who's he fought against? He's competed all over the place. He was supposed to fight Chase Sherman last month in April, but that bout was canceled. This is only his second fight in the UFC. He was in the Contender Series and beat Jimmy Lawson.
Maybe that's where I saw him then.
Probably. Oh, I want to pick Carl Williams, but I got to take... I'm going to take Chase Sherman purely based on the fact that Sherman has been around the UFC for a while. And I feel like that will give him a slight advantage over Williams. Not much, but slight.
Yeah, I picked Williams because of his record.
Yeah,
as of now.
I understand that. And then we have Cody Stamann versus Douglas Silva de Andrade, or Andrade, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Both fighters have a wealth of experience. Cody coming off with the win last time. Douglas with the loss. Douglas has the advantage in leg and arm reach. I'm going to go the Brazilian. I'm going to take Douglas on this one.
I'll go Cody Stamen.
Taking Cody on that one. Brian Battle, he's still there?
Yeah.
Versus Gabriel Green. Let's see if we can find his win-loss record. In his last 3 fights, he's 2-1, I should say. All right.
Yeah, he came right out of the Ultimate Fighter show.
Okay, and then we have Jessica Rose Clark versus.
I don't know who that opponent is.
I don't either. So let's see. Let's find out. She's debuting in the UFC. Yeah. So, I want to know who runs the UFC's website and why they don't do a little more due diligence on stuff. But that's just personal opinion.
Clark should get that one easily.
I think so. I agree with that. And so that was our brief look at the UFC Fight Night for next weekend, for Mother's Day weekend. And as we talked about it before we got into the show, that we will not be having a show because it is Mother's Day and we want to celebrate those mothers in our lives. So we will not be having a show on that. But you know who's having a show the Friday before UFC? Bellator. They're the ones that are going to be having a show. And that's still that. So let me click on here and boom, there we go. My favorite, Gegard Mousasi, will be taking on Fabian Edwards for the middleweight main event.
Look at his record.
Now, 49-8-2 versus Fabian Edwards 11-2. I've enjoyed Mousasi fighting for a long time, as you can see with that wealth of a fight record.
Wasn't most of it in UFC though?
Part of it was in UFC. He's fought all over the globe. Let me find out for you. I started hearing about him.
Where was he at before UFC?
Where wasn't he at? That's the better question.
Oh.
Before UFC, hold on, let me find it. Strikeforce.
Oh, I was going to say Strikeforce or WEC.
Mm-hmm. He was in Strikeforce. He was in Dream. He fought on the K1 Dynamite cards. He fought on M1. He fought in Dream a lot. Bodog. Pride. I think that's why I'm such a huge fan, because one of the last remaining Pride fighters out there. And quite a few fights in the UFC and then Bellator after that.
Yeah. I don't know why he left the UFC, though.
He's 3-1 in his last 4. He beat Austin Vanderford for his last win. And the win before that was John Salter. The win before that was Douglas Lima. His loss came by way of Johnny Eblin by unanimous decision loss.
Wasn't that recently?
That was in June.
Oh, last year.
Yes. I'm taking Mousasi.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Because it's Mousasi. Like, why would you take someone else? Like, even if he lost, I'm like, oh no, he was cheated. I would just find an irrational way to be like, no, he won. All right. For the lightweight World Grand Prix, we have Brent Primus versus Mansour Bonari, if I can pronounce that right. We have 20-4 from France versus 11-3 from the US of A.
I don't know either of them.
I don't either, but I like Primus the band, so I'm going to go with Brent on that one. No, I'm curious as to
his opponent because 20-4.
Yeah, that's the thing. He does have a wealth of experience. But what I'm always curious about is the quality of fighter that got him that record. Did he fight a lot of schlubs? So, all right. Well, that was our pick for that. Then we had Douglas Lima, 32-11 versus Constelo van Steenis from the Netherlands.
Oh, Douglas Lima.
I picked Douglas Lima also. He has a wealth of MMA experience. I feel like Constelo probably got a lot of experience in kickboxing, being from the Netherlands. But yeah, this is MMA, so I'm taking Lima. Lima's one of the best still. And then we have T-Balt Goti versus Kane Musa from the UK.
Oh, they have the same record, basically.
Basically, yeah. I feel like that's a wash. I'll go Kane.
Yeah, same.
And that is the main card for that Bellator fight. Let's breeze quickly through the prelims.
Soon.
We got Stephen Hill on the card, Jose Augusto, and some other fighters rounding out that main card for Bellator. You know, I appreciate Bellator, but I really don't pay that much attention. Only if it's a big fight.
I'm paying.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I know that. Yeah, that sucks. I feel like Bellator has not. I don't know if it's their advertising or I don't know, or if it's just me. I don't know if they're probably more popular than ever. To me, I feel like One Championship is really coming up there.
They're on Amazon, and then you have Bellator on Showtime.
Prime. Although the only bad thing about that is when it's live, it's in Singapore most of the time, and that's
so it's like 2 a.m. and everyone's asleep.
Like 3 a.m. on a Wednesday, or something like that. Luckily, this last one that happened on Friday happened to be in Colorado, so the live timing was perfect. It was 8 o'clock on a Friday. It was perfect, or 7 o'clock on a Friday, and you know everyone can watch that. You know, so I don't know. I hope they come. I don't know. Maybe they probably make more money in Singapore. I hope that they come here more because they're going to start to get more American fans. Maybe it'll be here more occasionally rather than one time. I don't know if they've ever been here before. I don't know. I don't think they have. I think they've only been in Singapore, but I don't know what their numbers were for Colorado. I hope they come here more though, because you're going to get more of the American audience for that. And the fights were good. All the fights are good in one. They have good fighters there. So
yeah, they have Demetrius Johnson, who's one of the best of all times in the lower weight divisions.
Right.
And he got the win by unanimous decision, completing the trilogy with Adriano Moraes. And then Rod Tang fought and won by knockout in the second.
Mm-hmm. I believe it was one elbow that did the trick. But
that's all it takes. And he's Rod Tang. Like,
yeah,
the dude from what we've talked about in the past is one of the best Muay Thai fighters ever.
Right.
Hands down. So, yeah, I would expect a one elbow to take him out.
Right. And I don't know. The highlight I saw was one elbow. It was either cut up the front or just bam right there down the middle. It was crazy. Save Northcutt got a win also after being gone for a long time. And some are saying like, he looks different. I think maybe he got off some stuff.
Are you trying to say that he was
I'm saying maybe he has less protein or something. No, I don't know.
He needs a steak then.
Yeah, I don't know. He's very small. Not very small. I just remember him being bigger. He's always been very, very cut and toned, so that didn't change. Although he is a little smaller, I feel like. So I think he may or may not have been on or something. Anyway, he's back. He won, which was good. Although right before that sub that he got knocked down pretty bad. But ended up on the ground, and from there got the sub. So he recovered himself. But I think the whole reason why they ended up there is because there was a knockdown.
Got the nice heel hook.
Yep.
And he
I
earned
don't
a
like seeing like
$50,000 bonus after that from that win.
And you know who I really like is the owner of One. He's so cool. I've listened to a few interviews with him, and he's Chaudhry. I think he's very smart. I think he's young enough to know the market and how to make everything work. I think it's very successful over there where they're at. Like I said, I hope they come here more because more audience, and then we get a chance to watch it live when it's live rather than staying up till 3 a.m. on a Wednesday, which is not going to happen.
Yeah.
They pay out millions of dollars to their fighters.
And
They
it's
have
Prime.
jiu-jitsu.
So I feel like because streaming has taken over everywhere, Prime is everywhere, where Showtime.
That's a good platform to get on. I wish their schedule was more Americanized, but they have Muay Thai, they have Jiu-Jitsu, they have MMA. Sometimes they say, I don't know, I think it was one of Demetrius Johnson's fights. Believe it was with Rodtang, where they agreed to do MMA and Muay Thai in one fight, just separated by the rounds.
Which is awesome.
Which is crazy. I don't know if you've been keeping up on the Francis Ngannou drama with him trying to get signed with an organization or not, but
we actually have a story about that.
One had offered him quite a bit of money. I forgot the number. I think it was around 30 million or something. And something that's never really been offered to any fighter before. Mm-hmm. He turned it down. Right, he turned it down.
I think it's because he wants more incentives. And a lot of them are
wanted with
not down for that.
The owner was saying that he wanted a seat at the board. He wanted a part of the company. He wanted control over a certain amount of it. And they're like, no one's going to, I don't think anyone's going to give that to him. Because this guy made his company and his promotion, his organization. I don't think anyone's going to give that up just to have a fighter when you could have all the other ones that don't want that. Which really sucks that, I don't know.
I get what Ngannou's trying to do in securing his future.
Well, it's like, are we going to see a fight again? Probably not. So what are you doing?
If we do, it'll be random.
I don't know. I don't know how many more offers he's going to get if this is, he might just go to boxing. I think boxing can offer him.
Do you think he'll end up blacklisting himself in a way?
I don't know who he's already talked to, which I'm assuming he's already talked to everyone, and they turned him down because he wants those type of things included. But I don't know. And who knows? Maybe he doesn't want to fight. I don't know if this is a strategy, or
if
maybe
he doesn't want to fight, he just needs to bail and get out of the game.
What I think is going to happen is he's going to take a really big payday for boxing, and that's it. And then he's not going to fight anymore because I think he's going to make all his money. Because if he really wanted to fight, he'd fight right now. He's holding out for something. I don't know. Which really sucks is that he kind of like dipped his toe in UFC and then bounced. And he's kind of like just teasing everyone with, oh, who am I going to sign with? When no one's going to sign him with what he's requiring. So it's like, wow, I don't know. He could do what he wants, but it's like for the fans, that sucks for the fans.
Agreed.
And now I understand why UFC did not want anything to do with him after he asking all those things. Like he wants fighter pay increase. Like it's gone a little too far. I think it's like I understand that fighters deserve that, but there's a reason why nobody offers that right now. Dana White already has he's set in his ways. Like he knows what he wants to offer fighters, but he's not going to.
And he has but Dana White also, it's not the Fertittas that own it anymore. The Fertittas had more openness to what you could do. Now they're owned by Endeavor, and that's a huge corporate entity in it to itself.
Yeah, you're not going to get anything.
So there's a lot you can't do.
They already have what they're going to offer, and it'll probably never change. They're not going to give you any more. Maybe they might give you more money on your payouts for your fights, but
the other things that you want, probably not.
Like insurance and stuff like that, I don't think so. I think fighting is fighting. It could be a career if you make it that way, but it's not like you're going to get a seat at the board just because you're a good fighter and you've been around for a long time.
That's it.
And I think UFC made Ngannou a record offer also, like more money than they've ever offered anyone, and he turned it down.
Yep.
People are going to stop offering.
But one person wants to fight him under the PFL banner, and that's Fabricio Verdum. He wants to fight Francis Ngannou under the PFL banner, and he also says you have a lot of holes in your game.
Yeah, probably.
Former UFC champion. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Do you think that could come into fruition, or
he's old?
Do you think true? Verdum is old, but do you think that is a fight he would entertain, or he would just go boxing to have a huge cash grab?
PFL doesn't fit his standards. I can tell you that. I don't think if he maybe he'll surprise everyone and take that, but I don't see PFL offering something that everyone hasn't already. Unless PFL wants to give him his requirements that he's asking for, which maybe if they do, okay, cool. Then we have some fights. But PFL,
I think that
PFL,
would be. I think that'd be interesting, but I don't see that happening.
I don't think this guy is going to be the one to pull him in. I'm sorry. I don't think Verdum's going to be able to be like, oh yeah.
No, I think I agree with that, and I think you're right.
I don't know if this is official, or I heard this. Maybe it was just a rumor that Francis Ngannou was trying to fight heavyweight in boxing. That they were getting offers from, I don't know, who are the top guys.
What's he going to fight? One of the Paul brothers?
No, that'd be funny. Tyson Fury.
I did hear that, and I haven't heard much after that.
Me either. I hope that happens. That would be good. He'll get his money. I don't know about the other stuff.
That'd be a huge payday for him.
I think that's the route he's going to go. He's going to do a big time boxing fight, I think.
Can't disagree with you there. And then let's see. We have Roy Nelson, who's 46, one of my personal favorite MMA fighters, competing. He competed in a bare knuckle fight. Crazy, because Roy Nelson.
Oh, okay.
Big heavyweight guy.
Yeah.
He hasn't competed since 2020, and this was his first win in combat sports since 2017. So,
been a while.
Let's check out the video.
Do damage backing up too.
They're just slugging each other.
Yeah. Oh, touch right hand.
Bare knuckle
touch right hand again.
MMA.
Answers with the right.
They're just in the pocket swing.
Oh, this is game bread.
Yes.
Just what Jorge brought them together to do. The right hand again. Roy answers.
This is interesting. Wow. Wow.
Well, there you go, folks.
Okay. How do we watch Game Bread? What is it on?
I have no idea. I have never heard of it until apparently they're on Twitter, but I've never heard of it until I saw the article about Roy
We're going to have
Nelson
to figure this out.
Just what Jorge brought them together to do.
Gotta check out that highlight one more
Right
time.
hand again. Roy answers.
Who's he fighting?
1 minute 40 seconds. Oh!
He fought Dylan Keckler.
No,
all right. And that was Game Bread Bare Knuckle MMA. That was in Sunrise, Florida.
Okay. We have to figure out when these are on and catch them, because he has big name fighters on there now, which is cool. Speaking of, I don't know if you want to go right into this. Speaking of Jorge Masvidal.
I'll bring that up. Yeah.
Random drama.
Crazy
serious,
Florida stuff.
It's a serious one, though.
Jorge Masvidal's father arrested, charged with attempted murder after shooting in retired UFC star's Miami home. Basically, his dad was at his son's house and shot at people.
Crazy.
So, yeah, very crazy, because the story came out earlier.
Attempted murder, though. That's serious. It's not like it was a mishap. It was attempted murder.
Yeah, there was thought behind it.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, well,
posted bond, a $10,000 bond. Masvidal, the son, who we all know, Jorge Masvidal, was not present at the home when the shooting happened.
Thank God. We don't need any more Masvidal drama.
That's it. He's got more drama outside of the cage than when he did inside the cage.
Yeah.
Especially because he just retired. So that's a unique story for everyone. And then Tony Ferguson is also in crime news as of late.
Pretty bad. This one's pretty bad.
Yeah. Tony Ferguson arrested for DUI after flipping truck in Hollywood. So
I want to know how he flipped his truck in Hollywood.
That's a good question. He crashed into his truck into two parked cars outside a nightclub.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he was arrested at 2 a.m. and booked into the Hollywood Community Police Station several hours later and is being held on $30,000 bond.
Mark Bagels, then over to cheese. I wonder how fast he was going. For it to turn it, well, I feel like his truck ran over the side of those cars and it just kind of tipped it over, maybe.
More than likely, that's what happened. So
2 a.m.
Tony Ferguson
leaving some club or bar.
Can't believe that happened, but it did. Shame on him for that. I mean, since they say he was drunk, if he was drunk, there are so many other ways to go about getting home. And I'm pretty sure because he's a fighter, he has an entourage. He has homies he rolls with. You mean to tell me one of them couldn't be like, hey, let's get you a designated driver or do something to help him out? Instead, you have this. I'm glad nobody was injured or hurt, but still the damage that he is causing, come on, dude, get it together. Be a responsible adult.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Well, he's in the headlines again.
Agreed. All right. And then next week, folks, for those in Central California, 559 Fights is going on at the Rawhide Ballpark. And I believe the next day, I might have my days mixed up, but in 2 days, we have 559 Fights. And then we also have Fight to Win Jiu-Jitsu at the Convention Center. That is also taking place. So if you are in Central California, near Visalia, California, check them out. They're great events, and I believe there are tickets still available. So to see stuff live, can't beat it. Check it out. Kaelyn, you got anything else?
I don't. Not basically.
You don't? I don't either, and I think we're good. So we're going to call it a day. All right, folks, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.